Welcome to All-Time Epic Stories. Today, we present the Maya's calendar Cataclysm, unraveling ancient prophecies and astronomical masterpieces. Deep within the jungles of Mesoamerica, beneath canopies that have witnessed millennia, lies a mystery that has captivated humanity for generations. The Maya civilization, with their towering pyramids and intricate hieroglyphs, left behind something extraordinary, a calendar system so sophisticated it would not be matched in precision for centuries to come. For years, whispers of a Maya prophecy spoke of December 21, 2012, a date when the world would end, when cataclysm would consume civilization. News outlets proclaimed doom, conspiracy theorists constructed elaborate scenarios, and fear rippled across the globe. But was this fear justified, or had we fundamentally misunderstood the genius of the Maya? Our journey begins not with prophecy, but with understanding. To truly grasp what the Maya created, we must first walk in their world, see through their eyes, and comprehend the astronomical brilliance that defined their civilization. The Maya were not primitive stargazers. They were master mathematicians and astronomers whose observations rivaled those made with modern telescopes. Without metal tools, without optical instruments, they mapped the heavens with breathtaking accuracy. At the heart of their civilization stood Chichen Itza, where the Great Pyramid of Kukulkan rises like a stone mountain, each stone placed with mathematical precision. This was not merely a monument to gods, it was a calendar carved in stone, a testament to cosmic understanding. The pyramid contains exactly 91 steps on each of its four sides. Together with the platform at the summit, they total 365, one for each day of the solar year. Coincidence? The Maya left nothing to chance. But their calendar system was far more complex than a simple solar count. The Maya operated with multiple interlocking calendars simultaneously, each tracking different cosmic cycles with extraordinary precision. This was mathematics elevated to an art form. The Tzolk'in, their sacred calendar, ran in a cycle of 260 days. Scholars believe this corresponded to the human gestation period and the cycle of corn cultivation, linking the rhythms of human life to the patterns of the cosmos and the earth. The Haab, their solar calendar, tracked the Earth's journey around the Sun with 365 days divided into 18 months of 20 days, plus a short period of 5 days considered unlucky. They understood solar mechanics with remarkable clarity. When the Tzolk'in and Haab ran together, they created the calendar round, a 52-year cycle before the same combination of days repeated. For the Maya, reaching the end of a calendar round was a moment of cosmic renewal, celebrated with great ceremony. Yet even this was not enough for a civilization that thought in terms of deep time. The Maya needed something more expansive, something that could track history across millennia. They needed the long count. The long count calendar was their masterpiece, a linear system that could mark any day in history with absolute precision. Unlike the cyclical calendars that repeated, the long count marched forward through time itself, recording the grand sweep of cosmic ages. The long count operated in a vigesimal system, based on the number 20. They counted in kin, or days, unals of 20 days, tons of 360 days, katuns of 20 tons, and backtons of 20 katuns. Mathematics nested within mathematics. A single bacton represented approximately 394 years. The Maya creation date, the beginning of the current age, was set at 13.0.0.0.0, or 13 backtons from zero. This cosmic clock had been ticking for over 5,000 years. According to Maya cosmology, the universe had been created and destroyed multiple times. They lived in a fourth or fifth creation, depending on which traditions we follow. Each creation was governed by different gods, different elements, different destinies. The previous creation, they believed, had ended in a great flood. Before that, the world was consumed by jaguars. And before that, by fire and rain. The Maya understood that worlds could end, but they also understood that new worlds began. The current creation began on a day the Maya recorded as 4/8 Kumku in their calendar notation. In our Gregorian system, scholars have calculated this corresponds to August 11, 3114 BCE, a date deep in prehistory, long before the Maya themselves existed as a civilization. This was not history as they had witnessed it. This was mythology given mathematical precision. The Maya projected their calendrical system backward through time, anchoring their present in a cosmic framework that gave meaning to existence itself. The 13-Bactin cycle would complete on 13.0.0.0.0.0, returning the calendar to its starting position. In the cyclical thinking of the Maya, this was not an end but a return, a cosmic renewal, the closing of one great chapter and the opening of another. Scholars calculated this completion date using astronomical software and historical correlation. The 13th Bactin would end on a day corresponding to December 21, 2012, in our calendar, a winter solstice, a moment when the sun stands still. The winter solstice held profound significance for the Maya. It was the shortest day, the moment of deepest darkness before light began its return. A symbolic death and rebirth played out in the heavens annually, and now cosmically, on a scale of millennia. When news of this date entered popular consciousness, something remarkable happened. What was a calendrical notation, a mathematical endpoint, transformed in the public imagination into apocalyptic prophecy. The misunderstanding spread faster than truth could correct it. Books proclaimed coming cataclysms. Documentaries dramatized ancient warnings. The Maya, who had created a calendar of such sophistication that it required 3 interlocking systems to properly function, were reduced to prophets of doom in the popular narrative. Hollywood seized upon the narrative with spectacular effect. Computer-generated tsunamis obliterated cities. Earthquakes tore continents apart. The ancient Maya watched from movie posters as their calendar was transformed into entertainment, wisdom repackaged as spectacle. Yet actual Maya descendants, the living inheritors of this ancient knowledge, spoke a different truth. Elders in Guatemala and Mexico patiently explained that the end of a calendar cycle was not the end of time, it was transformation, renewal, the turning of a cosmic page. To understand what the Maya truly believed, we must return to their monuments, their codices, their inscriptions. We must become archaeologists of meaning, excavating truth from beneath layers of misinterpretation and sensationalism. At Palenque, deep in the Chiapas jungle, stands the Temple of Inscriptions. Within its stone chambers, King Pakal's tomb rests beneath one of the longest Maya hieroglyphic texts ever discovered, a text that speaks of time beyond our comprehension. The inscription's record dates billions of years in the future, calculations of when certain cosmic cycles will align again. The Maya were not predicting the end of time, they were confirming its continuity, projecting their mathematical system forward into eternities we can barely conceive. Monument 6 at Tortuguero provided the primary textual evidence for 2012. The eroded inscription mentioned that a deity named Balan Yacht Ku would descend or appear at the completion of the 13th Bactin. But the text was fragmentary, damaged by time and weather. Balan Yacht Ku was associated with creation and war, transitions and transformations. The appearance of such a deity suggested significant cosmic change, but change is not destruction. In Maya thought, endings and beginnings were inseparably intertwined. The Dresden Codex, one of only 4 surviving Maya books, contains astronomical tables of stunning precision. The scribes who created it calculated the cycles of Venus with an accuracy that differed from modern measurements by only 14 seconds per year. They tracked Venus through its cycles as both morning and evening star, noting its appearances and disappearances with meticulous care. Venus was Tzolk'in, the feathered serpent, whose movements governed warfare, ceremonies, and the fate of rulers. The Madrid Codex reveals their understanding of eclipses. They predicted these cosmic events with such accuracy that kings would schedule battles and ceremonies around them, knowing precisely when the sun would be devoured by shadow and when it would return. At Copan, in modern Honduras, the Maya built an astronomical observatory where priests tracked the sun's position throughout the year. They marked the solstices and equinoxes with such precision that their error was less than 1 day in 5,000 years. They understood that the sun's position against the background stars shifted over vast periods, the phenomenon we call precession. Modern science calculated this cycle at approximately 26,000 years. The Maya measured it independently, without telescopes. Their mathematics was equally sophisticated. While Europe struggled with Roman numerals, the Maya had developed the concept of zero, a placeholder that revolutionized calculation. They could compute numbers in the millions with ease. The concept of zero appeared in Maya inscriptions as a shell glyph, a symbol of emptiness and potentiality. This was not mere mathematical notation but philosophy encoded in mathematics. Zero was the void from which all creation emerged. They calculated the lunar month at 29.53020 days. Modern astronomy measures it at 29.53059 days. A difference of 0.00039 days, an error of 3 seconds. Without telescopes. Without calculators. Pure observation and mathematical genius. The solar year they calculated at 365.2420 days. Modern measurements give us 365.2422 days. Their error? 0.0002 days, or 17 seconds per year. This was not primitive astronomy, this was science of the highest order. At Uxmal, the governor's palace is aligned to Venus at its southernmost position, a cycle that repeats every 8 years. When Venus appears in this position, the planet shines directly through the building's central doorway, architecture as astronomical instrument. The caracol at Chichen Itza served as an observatory. Its windows aligned with the rising and setting positions of Venus at its extremes. The circular tower emerged from the jungle like a concrete embodiment of celestial mathematics. During the spring and autumn equinoxes, at Chichen Itza's Pyramid of Tzolk'in, the sun creates an undulating pattern of light and shadow along the northern staircase, the image of a serpent descending from heaven to earth. Thousands gather to witness this astronomical theater. This was not coincidence but intentional design. The Maya built their monuments as physical manifestations of cosmic order, aligning stone and sunlight to demonstrate their understanding of celestial mechanics. Architecture became calendar, calendar became ceremony. Their kings did not merely rule, they embodied cosmic order. A ruler's legitimacy depended on his ability to maintain the proper relationship between earth and sky, humanity and cosmos. Kings were living calendars, their rituals synchronizing human time with divine time. Blood sacrifice, often sensationalized in modern accounts, was part of this cosmic maintenance. The Maya believed that blood, the essence of life, fed the gods and sustained the universe. Kings pierced their own flesh in ceremonies of profound religious significance. The ball game, played in every major Maya city, was more than sport. It reenacted cosmic battles between life and death, light and darkness. The ball court itself represented the threshold between worlds, and the game's outcome could determine cosmic balance. The hero twins of Maya mythology defeated the lords of death through cunning and skill in the ball game, ultimately being transformed into the sun and moon. This myth encoded astronomical knowledge, the eternal dance of celestial bodies in narrative form. The Ceiba tree stood at the center of Maya cosmology, the world tree connecting the underworld, the earth, and the heavens. Its roots reached to Xibalba, the place of fear, while its branches touched the 13 layers of heaven. Reality itself was layered, interconnected. The underworld was not merely a place of death but of transformation. Souls journeyed through Xibalba's 9 levels, facing trials and challenges before reaching rebirth. Death was passage, not ending, another cycle in the cosmic calendar. The concept of Kaeden periods, roughly 20-year cycles, governed historical memory. Each Kaeden had its own character, its own prophecy. When a Kaeden returned after 256 years, the Maya expected similar patterns to recur, history as cyclical, not linear. The books of Chilam Balam, colonial-era texts preserving ancient knowledge, record Kaeden prophecies. Each period brought specific expectations, abundance or drought, peace or war. The calendar did not predict individual events but described the flavor of time itself. When Spanish conquistadors arrived in the early 16th century, they encountered a civilization whose intellectual achievements in some ways surpassed their own. The Maya could predict eclipses centuries in advance. European navigators still struggled with accurate timekeeping. Bishop Diego de Landa, seeking to convert the Maya to Christianity, ordered the burning of their books. In a single act of cultural destruction, centuries of accumulated knowledge went up in flames. Only 4 codices survived, hidden or overlooked. Yet the destruction was not complete. The knowledge lived on in stone monuments scattered throughout the jungle, in oral traditions passed down through generations, in the memory of a people whose calendar continued to turn despite conquest and colonization. Modern decipherment of Maya hieroglyphs began in earnest only in the 1950s. For centuries, these symbols remained mysterious, their meanings locked in stone. The breakthrough came from recognizing that Maya writing was both logographic and phonetic, complex and sophisticated. Yuri Norizov, a Soviet linguist, made crucial breakthroughs by applying phonetic analysis to the glyphs. He demonstrated that Maya writing represented spoken language, not just symbolic pictures. Suddenly, the stones began to speak across the centuries. As translation progressed, a new understanding emerged. The Maya had recorded their history with precision, kings' births and deaths, battles and alliances, astronomical events and ritual ceremonies. This was not mythology alone but historical documentation of remarkable sophistication. Pakel the Great's reign at Palenque lasted 68 years, from 615 to 683 CE. His tomb's inscriptions calculated dates reaching far into our future. The Maya did not write for their own time alone but for eternity, projecting their calendar forward indefinitely. The collapse of classic Maya civilization in the 9th century CE remains partially mysterious. Cities were abandoned, their plazas silent, their temples surrendered to jungle growth. Yet the calendar never stopped, it continued in the minds and traditions of survivors. Climate data suggests severe drought struck the Maya heartland. Political fragmentation and warfare intensified. The complex system that sustained millions became unsustainable. Cities fell silent, but Maya culture and knowledge survived in different forms, different places. In the northern Yucatan, cities like Chichen Itza and Uxmal continued to flourish for centuries after the southern collapse. The calendar continued, the observations continued, the cosmic understanding persisted through political and environmental catastrophe. When the Spanish conquest finally reached Yucatan in the 1540s, they found a civilization still practicing its ancient calendar, still tracking Venus and the Moon, still maintaining the cosmic order despite centuries of change and adaptation. The correlation between the Maya long count and the Gregorian calendar required sophisticated astronomical backtracking. Scholars had to align historical records of eclipses, planetary positions, and other astronomical events to synchronize the two systems. The GMT correlation, named for researchers Goodman, Martinez, and Thomson, became the standard. It placed the Maya creation date at August 11, 3114 BCE, and the completion of the 13th Bacton at December 21, 2012 CE. Mathematics bridged millennia. But why December 21st? Beyond the calendrical mathematics, this date held astronomical significance. The winter solstice sun appeared to align with the dark rift in the center of the Milky Way, a rare galactic alignment that occurred once every 26,000 years. The Maya called this dark rift the Xibalba, the road to the underworld. It was the cosmic birth canal from which gods and creation emerged. The sun's alignment with this sacred road carried profound symbolic meaning, a cosmic rebirth. Some scholars debate whether the ancient Maya actually calculated this galactic alignment or if it is a modern observation projected backward. Regardless, the sophistication required to track such long-term celestial mechanics would have been well within Maya capabilities. Modern Maya communities approach 2012 with a mixture of traditional understanding and awareness of global hysteria. They held ceremonies of renewal, honoring the completion of a great cycle while Western media predicted apocalypse. Hunbat's men, a Maya elder and day keeper, spoke of the date as a time of consciousness shift, not physical destruction. The end of a Bacton represented an opportunity for humanity to align with cosmic wisdom, to remember our connection to the greater universe. The Popol Vuh, the Maya creation epic preserved in Kitsch language, describes previous worlds ending not in random catastrophe but in purposeful transformation. The gods crafted humanity through multiple attempts, each iteration learning from the last. The final creation used maize, the sacred plant that sustained Maya civilization. Humans were made from white and yellow corn, ground and mixed with water. We are literally children of the cosmos and the earth, formed from the substance that fed the body and spirit. The Dresden Codex contains flood imagery that some interpreted as prophecy for 2012. But careful analysis revealed these were historical records or mythological narratives, not predictions. The Maya documented the past and understood cycles, they did not claim to predict specific future events. As 2012 approached, actual Maya archaeologists and epigraphers publicly explained that no ancient texts predicted apocalypse. Yet the narrative had taken on a life of its own, spreading through internet forums, conference halls, and documentary channels. Some pointed to Tortuguero Monument 6 as evidence of prophecy. But the damaged text merely stated that Balan Yacht Ku would appear, a statement about deity manifestation during cosmic renewal, not world destruction. Context had been lost to sensationalism. A second monument from La Corona, discovered in 2012, also mentioned the 13th Bacton completion. It described the date in terms of ritual ceremony and the dedication of monuments, mundane religious practice, not cosmic catastrophe. The Maya had experienced calendar completions before. The end of each katun, each tun, each calendar round brought ceremonies and renewals. The completion of a full Bacton was significant but fit within an established pattern of cosmic cycling. December 21, 2012, arrived. The sun rose over Chichen Itza. Ceremonies were performed. Tourists gathered. The media watched. And when the day ended, the world continued. The Maya had never predicted otherwise. The long count simply rolled over to the next great cycle, beginning 0.0.0.0.1, the first day of the 14th Bacton. Time continued as it always had, the cosmic calendar marking each day with mathematical precision, unchanged by human fear or expectation. What then can we learn from this global misunderstanding? Perhaps that we project our anxieties onto ancient wisdom, seeing doom where sophisticated cultures saw transformation. The Maya's calendar was not a countdown to destruction but a tool for understanding infinity. The Maya developed a system that could track time across millennia without losing a single day. They understood astronomical cycles we only recently verified with technology. They encoded mathematical concepts that revolutionized calculation. This was their true prophecy, the prediction of human intellectual achievement. Modern astronomy confirms the precision of Maya observations. Their Venus tables remain accurate. Their eclipse predictions hold true. Their solar year calculation differs from ours by seconds. Without telescopes, they achieved what modern science validates. The mathematical sophistication required for these calculations cannot be overstated. The Maya worked with numbers we would struggle to compute without computers. They tracked cycles within cycles within cycles, maintaining absolute precision across all systems simultaneously. Their calendar was not primitive superstition but advanced timekeeping that integrated astronomy, mathematics, religion, and history into a coherent system. It was cosmology made practical, philosophy encoded in numbers, spirituality grounded in observable reality. Consider what it means to create a calendar that begins before your civilization existed and projects beyond any foreseeable future. This was thinking on a scale that transcended individual human life, individual dynasties, individual cities. This was cosmic thinking. The Maya understood that they were part of something far greater than themselves, a cosmic dance of astronomical bodies, mathematical patterns, and cyclical time. Their monuments stood as testimony to this understanding, aligning earth with heaven through stone and calculation. When we reduce this achievement to doomsday prophecy, we diminish not only the Maya but ourselves. We reveal our inability to comprehend sophisticated thought systems different from our own. We project contemporary anxieties onto ancient wisdom we have not taken time to understand. The true lesson of the Maya calendar is not about endings but about perspective. In a culture that thought in terms of 5,125-year cycles, individual human concerns, even whole civilizations, were temporary fluctuations in an eternal cosmic pattern. This perspective did not diminish the importance of individual action. Maya kings still waged wars, made alliances, built monuments. But all actions occurred within a cosmic context, connected to celestial patterns and divine cycles that gave meaning to human endeavor. The calendar system ensured that no moment existed in isolation. Every day had its position in multiple overlapping cycles, Tzolk'in, Haab, long count. Every date was simultaneously local and cosmic, immediate and eternal, human and divine. Modern Maya communities still use aspects of these calendar systems. The Tzolk'in remains in use by daykeepers and shamans throughout Guatemala and Mexico. The ancient knowledge persists, adapted but unbroken, passed from generation to generation. These modern practitioners perform ceremonies on auspicious days calculated using traditional methods. They maintain altars at sacred sites. They speak to the cosmos using languages and formulas their ancestors developed over 2,000 years ago. The calendar controversy of 2012 brought renewed attention to Maya culture. Ironically, the apocalyptic misinterpretation created opportunities for Maya descendants to share authentic knowledge. From misunderstanding came dialogue, from fear came learning. Archaeological work continues to reveal new insights. New monuments are discovered, new texts deciphered, new astronomical alignments identified. The Maya left behind puzzles that will occupy scholars for generations, each solution revealing deeper layers of sophistication. LiDAR technology has revolutionized Maya archaeology, revealing thousands of previously unknown structures hidden beneath jungle canopy. Entire cities emerge from the data, showing that Maya civilization was even larger and more complex than previously believed. These discoveries include new astronomical observatories, calendar monuments, and hieroglyphic texts. Each finding adds detail to our understanding of how the Maya tracked time and space. The story of their achievement continues to expand as the jungle yields its secrets. The calendar mathematics has inspired modern researchers in fields from astronomy to computer science. The base 20 system offers computational advantages for certain applications. The concept of nested cycles informs our understanding of complex temporal systems. Climate scientists study ancient Maya agricultural practices and their calendar-based agricultural scheduling. Understanding how the Maya managed resources in challenging tropical environments offers lessons for sustainable agriculture in our own time. The Maya knew that time was not linear but cyclical, not simple but complex, not mechanical but alive with meaning. Every moment existed within patterns that repeated across scales from days to millennia. Time was a living cosmos, not a dead measurement. This understanding challenges our modern relationship with time. We see time as a resource to be managed, hours to be filled, deadlines to be met. The Maya saw time as sacred, each day a unique nexus of cosmic forces, each moment a gift from the gods. When the Spanish arrived with their linear Christian timeline, creation to apocalypse, Eden to Judgment Day, they encountered a temporal philosophy that thought in cycles of creation and destruction spanning millions of years. Two cosmologies met, and one was nearly destroyed. But the cyclical understanding survived. It persisted in the mountains and jungles, in ceremonies and oral traditions. It encoded itself in the very landscape through aligned monuments that still mark the passage of sun and stars, testimony in stone. The 14th Bakhtin, which began on December 22, 2012, will continue for approximately 394 more years, completing around the year 2407 CE. The Maya calendar extends far beyond, calculating cycles that will not complete for thousands of years to come. Imagine a civilization that builds monuments calibrated to celestial events occurring centuries after they will be completed. Imagine a calendar designed to function for millennia beyond any reasonable projection of cultural continuity. This was Maya thinking that transcended mortality. The precision of the calendar reflects a profound respect for accuracy and truth. Astronomical observations were repeated, refined, and verified across generations. Knowledge accumulated over centuries, each generation contributing to a collective understanding passed to the next. This multi-generational approach to knowledge creation stands in stark contrast to our contemporary focus on individual achievement and rapid results. The Maya built understanding the way they built pyramids, one carefully placed stone at a time, across lifetimes. The astronomical observatories were not laboratories but temples. Scientific observation and religious practice were inseparable. Understanding the cosmos was an act of devotion, and devotion required understanding the cosmos. Knowledge and spirituality unified. This integration of science and spirituality seems foreign to modern Western thought, where these domains have been separated into distinct magisteria. Yet the Maya would have found this separation incomprehensible. How can one understand creation without honoring the Creator? The agricultural calendar, aligned with Tzolk'in and Haab cycles, ensured that planting and harvesting occurred at cosmically auspicious times. Practical necessity merged with cosmic awareness. The corn grew according to astronomical patterns, sky and soil united. Modern analysis has shown that the Maya calendar's agricultural timing was remarkably effective for tropical conditions. The sophisticated understanding of seasonal patterns, encoded in sacred cycles, represented accumulated environmental knowledge validated by centuries of observation. The end date controversy ultimately revealed more about contemporary culture than about the Maya. Our apocalyptic anxieties, our desire for definitive endings, our tendency toward catastrophic thinking, these are our patterns, not theirs. We saw our fears reflected in their mathematics. The Maya faced their own catastrophes, droughts, wars, political collapse. Their cities fell, their populations dispersed. Yet their calendar continued, their astronomical knowledge survived, their cosmic understanding persisted. They knew that cycles included both endings and beginnings. The true prophecy of the Maya calendar is not about our future but about the nature of time itself. Time is cyclical and linear, local and cosmic, immediate and eternal. Each moment exists within infinite nested patterns, each day a unique configuration never to be exactly repeated. Understanding this requires a shift in consciousness, from seeing ourselves as separate from time to recognizing ourselves as expressions of temporal patterns, cosmic rhythms made flesh. We are not in time, we are time, manifesting in human form. The Maya achieved what few civilizations have managed. They created a system that made the invisible visible, the abstract concrete, the cosmic comprehensible. Their calendar was a map of infinity, a tool for navigating the incomprehensible vastness of time and space. Modern physics tells us that time is relative, that space and time are unified, that the universe operates according to mathematical principles. The Maya, without particle accelerators or space telescopes, intuited these truths and encoded them in stone and symbol. They understood that observation changes the observed, that consciousness and cosmos are interrelated, that attention itself is a sacred act. Every observation recorded, every calculation made, was both scientific measurement and spiritual practice. The calendar system required constant attention and maintenance. Priests observed, calculated, and adjusted. This was not passive measurement but active relationship with time. The calendar lived because people gave it life through continuous engagement. When we abandoned the Maya calendar to catastrophic misinterpretation, we revealed our own disconnection from cyclical time. Our linear, progressive worldview struggles to comprehend systems built on eternal return, on patterns that repeat yet always differ. The mathematician and astronomer Galileo famously said that mathematics is the language in which God wrote the universe. The Maya would have agreed. They read this language in the movements of celestial bodies and wrote it in stone for generations unborn. Their legacy is not prophecy but perspective. They showed that human consciousness can comprehend cosmic scales, that careful observation can reveal universal patterns, that stone and starlight can be aligned through mathematics and devotion. The misunderstood prophecy of 2012 became, ironically, an opportunity for authentic prophecy. The Maya did predict something true, that future generations would lose understanding of cyclical time, would fear transformation, would mistake completion for ending. They predicted that their knowledge would be nearly destroyed but would survive. That their books would burn but their stones would speak. That their civilization would fall but their cosmic understanding would persist. These prophecies came true. Every calendar completion is both ending and beginning. The 13th backed and ended, the 14th began. The cycle continues, as it always has, as it always will. This is the Maya prophecy, not of destruction but of continuation, not of fear but of understanding. The calendar teaches patience. Results emerge across centuries. Understanding accumulates through generations. Truth reveals itself slowly to those willing to observe, calculate, and wait. The cosmos operates on its own schedule, indifferent to human impatience. It teaches humility. Individual human life is a single day in a cycle lasting 144,000 days. Our concerns, however pressing, are temporary fluctuations in eternal patterns. This is not nihilism but perspective. We matter, and we are part of something vastly greater. It teaches interconnection. The calendars work together: Tzolk'in, Haab, long count, Venus cycles, lunar cycles, all synchronized in mathematical harmony. Nothing exists in isolation. Every part depends on every other part. The system is the meaning. It teaches precision. One error in calculation compounds across centuries. Accuracy matters not for its own sake but because truth matters, because the cosmos deserves to be understood correctly, because observation is an act of respect toward creation. The astronomical alignments built into Maya architecture still function today. On designated days, light and shadow still perform their ancient dance. The stones remember what humans forgot, teaching anyone willing to watch and learn. In Guatemala, day keepers still consult the Tzolk'in for auspicious dates. Babies are named according to their day sign. Ceremonies align with calendar positions calculated using methods unchanged for centuries. The living tradition continues. These modern practitioners are not relics or historical reenactors. They are inheritors of a continuous knowledge tradition, keepers of a flame that has burned for over 2,000 years. When they consult the calendar, they perform the same sacred mathematics their ancestors perfected. The collapse of classic Maya civilization did not end Maya knowledge, it transformed and adapted. Like the calendar itself, Maya culture experienced completion and renewal, ending and beginning. The cycle continued in new forms. Today, millions of people in Guatemala, Belize, Mexico, Honduras, and El Salvador identify as Maya. They speak Maya languages, practice Maya traditions, and maintain Maya cosmology. The calendar's people persist alongside the calendar itself. The four surviving codices, Dresden, Madrid, Paris, and Grolier, are treated as sacred texts by Maya descendants. When they are displayed, ceremonies are performed. The knowledge they contain is not dead history but living wisdom, ancestral voices speaking across time. Efforts to revitalize Maya languages and traditional knowledge are underway throughout Maya territories. Schools teach ancient hieroglyphs alongside modern curriculum. The calendar becomes a tool for cultural preservation and identity formation. The calendar serves as proof that indigenous American civilizations achieved scientific and mathematical sophistication rivaling any culture on Earth. This challenges colonial narratives that portrayed the Americas as primitive before European contact. Understanding Maya achievements requires acknowledging that scientific advancement takes many forms. The Maya developed expertise suited to their environment and needs: tropical astronomy, agricultural mathematics, temporal philosophy. They never developed the wheel for transportation, but this was not a failure. In mountainous, jungle terrain without draft animals, wheels were impractical. Instead, they developed human-powered transportation systems efficient for their geography. They never developed metallurgy for tools, relying instead on obsidian and stone technology refined to extraordinary sharpness. Obsidian blades were sharper than modern surgical steel, capable of cuts modern doctors envy. The lesson is that civilizations develop according to their environments, values, and needs. The Maya invested in astronomy and mathematics rather than metallurgy and machinery. This was choice informed by worldview, not technological limitation. Their astronomical achievements were possible because they valued sky watching, dedicated resources to observation, and considered cosmic knowledge sacred. What a civilization achieves reflects what it values. Modern society might consider what we value. We can split atoms and sequence genes, yet struggle to maintain connection with natural cycles. The Maya could predict eclipses centuries in advance yet had no atomic weapons. Different paths, different results. The calendar reminds us that time existed before clocks and will exist after. The Maya measured time through celestial observation, not mechanical division. They synchronized with cosmic rhythms rather than industrial schedules. This offers an alternative to our modern time stress. Imagine treating each day as a unique cosmic configuration, sacred in its positioning within eternal cycles. Imagine living in relationship with time rather than in opposition to it. The Maya did not predict the end of the world on December 21, 2012. They predicted something far more profound: that time is cyclical, that endings are beginnings, that the cosmos operates in patterns we can comprehend if we dedicate ourselves to careful observation and mathematical precision. Their true prophecy was encoded not in apocalyptic warnings but in sophisticated calendars, precise astronomical observations, and monuments aligned to celestial events. They predicted that human consciousness could comprehend cosmic order, that stone could speak across millennia, that wisdom could survive catastrophe. And they were right. As we enter deeper into the 14th Bactan, perhaps we can honor the Maya not by fearing their calendar but by understanding it. By recognizing the extraordinary achievement it represents. By acknowledging that ancient wisdom and modern science can both speak truth. The calendar continues. The cosmos turns. And we, like the Maya before us, mark our days within infinite patterns we are only beginning to comprehend.